Okay, so when you start looking at the technical aspects of your website, I'm going to give you a simplified version that you can do in like half an hour to 10 minutes. I'm going to give you a really simplified version that you can easily do. So, the first place you're going to go is Google Search Console. And I've talked about this many times. If you don't have this set up, an account, it's free. It gives you tons of helpful information. Set it up. I have a whole blog post about how to set it up, so check that out. And when you get into your Google Search Console, you're going to check for a few things. First, you're just going to check like kind of the most important, which is the security and manual actions here. So check for manual actions that are recommended, no issues detected. Boom, we're good to go. If you see something here, it's something that will need to get fixed ASAP. So make sure that you write that down. Security issues, same thing. Okay, now we're going to look at HTTPS. This is making sure that you have a secure version of your website. If you don't have the little S at the end of your website, it means it's not secure in your URL. So you want to make sure it's secure. And it looks like this website is in the clear. There's 0 non-HTTPS URLs. So check, good to go. We can move past manual actions and security. Now we're going to check for the indexed pages. And this is where you'll probably start noticing some more stuff going on. So here, if you click on indexing and pages, then you'll see non-indexed pages and indexed pages. So a page that is indexed means that Google has like saved it in its database basically, so that when someone goes to search for something, it goes through all of its pages that are indexed to choose what shows up in results. So if you have a page that is not indexed, it has zero chance of showing up in organic search results. So this is a very important thing to look for. Now, it's okay to have non-indexed pages. A lot of pages you don't want to be indexed. So what we want to go through is we want to see, of these pages that are not indexed, which of these do we want to be indexed? And it kind of organizes by the reasoning. So a lot are blocked by the robots.txt file, and those are usually meant to be blocked. Those are usually pages like checkout pages, things like that are meant to be blocked. The main ones you want to look at: not found 404s, pages with redirects sometimes are an issue, and then you want to look at these like discovered currently not indexed and crawled currently not indexed. You want to look through all of these, but I'm just going to give you an example of how to look at them and what to look for. So let's look at the discovered currently not indexed pages. So we have 25 pages that are discovered by Google. They know it exists, but they have not indexed it. And then we get a link of all the pages here. When I look through these pages, since I know this website, this does not need to be indexed because it's just another version of the homepage. This does not need to be indexed because it's a supplementary thing to a course, so that shouldn't be indexed. But when I look down here, I see the 12 tips for Costa Rica. This is a blog post. This should be indexed. So is this, so is this, so is this, so is this, so is this. So there's a bunch of blog posts on here that I'm seeing that have not been indexed. And then there's some things on here that don't need to be. So we're only going to look at the ones that I do want to be indexed. So let's look at this Costa Rica one. We're going to click on it and we're going to click on Inspect URL. Now from here, we see it's not on Google. Well, we knew that. And we see that it is in the sitemap. It does have referring pages, so that's good. So from here, we could just go ahead and request indexing, but I'm just going to show you because sometimes that's not enough. Sometimes there's something actually wrong with the page. So to see what's going on, you're going to click test live URL, and this takes a minute. Okay, so in the live test, we see that the URL is available to Google. It can be indexed. It detects a video. It has an AMP. Oh, it has AMP on here still. Okay. So from here, you can look at view tested page to get even more information. Here you can see the page's code. You can see a screenshot of the first bit that loads. And then in more info, you can find out if there's any kind of errors that are causing issues. So, like if I look at page resources, it says that there's 12 out of 102 resources that could not be loaded. So if we click on this, you can look through here, like what's not being loaded and are they things that should be. So I'm seeing a lot of things in here that should be blocked by the robots.txt file, and that's totally fine. Like a Facebook pixel, and fonts, things like that. I'm not seeing any issues here. And JavaScript console messages. There's typically a lot of this type of stuff going on with Squarespace sites. I've noticed. Typically, it's not going to cause a problem with the indexing. So I think this page is fine. I'm going to request indexing now. And this is something you can do. You can request your indexing like right away, even though you're just doing an audit, just because you're already there, just do it. And then in your notes, you can put that you requested the indexing. Then you just want to check back. It could be indexed in a day, could be a week, could be a month, could be 4 months, but you never know. So you want to do that with all those pages that aren't indexed. You want to see what's going on. You want to see a lot of these not found 404s. These are actually like, some of these are like categories and things that should not even be, or things that were deleted that shouldn't even be in the sitemap. Okay, so after you've gotten a chance to look through what's going on with all of your pages, now you're going to look at your sitemap here and just make sure that there is an updated sitemap. Note the date. So this is actually really recent. This is within the past couple of weeks. You're going to check the status, how many pages are discovered. Now, if it's been a long time since the sitemap is in there, you can enter it again and submit it just to make sure, or like if you made a lot of changes on your site or anything, you can go ahead and do that, but just check this box and make sure that's good to go. The last thing we're going to check in Google Search Console for the technical stuff is the page speed insights. And you can, if your Google Search Console still has this Core Web Vitals showing up, you can get to that here and click here. If that's not showing up, you can just type in page speed insights into the URL, pagespeed.web.dev. So what this will do is it will test the web page. This is just testing the home page. You can type in any page on your website and it'll analyze the speed, the accessibility, and a few other things on both mobile and desktop. And this is really valuable information because if your website is super slow, or if there's a lot of issues going on with it, it just gives you a list of things that you could potentially fix. So for this one, on mobile, we see it's pretty slow, as is most of the websites on Squarespace. Down here at the bottom, you could see some of the reasons why they're saying that it's slow, some of the things that you could potentially do to fix it. A lot of this Depending, like if you're in Squarespace, some of it is not super fixable for you. Um, but sometimes things like image size and things like that can make a decent difference if you have super large images on there. But sometimes this is not going to save very much if I optimize these images because they're already like not very big. So it's totally just take a look at, and you kind of have to decide what matters there. The other thing, after you look at the page speed, is you can look at the accessibility. So this is saying that the background and foreground colors don't have a sufficient contrast ratio, so that would make it difficult for somebody to read. And if you click on it, it shows you where. Links do not have a discernible name, so these are probably links that are, oh, these ones are images, or email, or sometimes like learn more will pop up there. Best practices. This gives you some other ideas of some things that might need to be fixed. Browser errors were logged in the console. Yeah, I don't know what this is just looking at it right away, but it's something you could potentially dig into. And then SEO structured, it really kind of just tests structured data, so if it's valid or not. Now you can see all of this information also for desktop. Mobile is usually the slower version. Definitely check the mobile, check the desktop too, but the mobile is, don't skip that. That's super important. So that's all you need to look at in Google Search Console. Next, we're going to switch to a different tool to check on some other technical things. Okay, so once you get the basics out of Google Search Console, then you're going to go to either SEMrush, Ahrefs, or Screaming Frog and run your website through the free version that they have of site audits. The free versions usually are just like limited number of pages, so they won't they won't crawl through all of the pages of your website. But once you do that, once you run through and crawl your website, then you'll be able to see so much information, and it can look a little overwhelming because there is a lot of information, and it can also be confusing because sometimes things are showing up as an error, but it's actually not as big of a deal as it makes it sound. So I'm just going to show you, and everything will vary totally based off of your website and what's going on there. But I'm just going to show you like a few things to pay attention to. So right away, you'll see the issues listed here: errors, warnings, and notices. And if I just click issues here, I'll also see them: errors, warnings, and notices. And you can kind of look through there. We're going to be looking for a couple of specific things in this, and then we're also just going to kind of get a general idea about what's happening here. So one of the things that I had listed to look for is for broken links. So one thing is internal broken links, and another is external broken links. So internal broken links, I would highly recommend fixing ASAP, because what that means is that you're linking to somewhere else on your website, and then someone clicks it and it just goes to an error page, or it just goes back to home because that page is broken. So this website actually doesn't have any internal links that are broken, so that's great. But if you do, that would be a main thing to pay attention to. External links is probably listed under warnings. Here we go. External links. There are 36 external links that are broken. So this provides a poor user experience. If you're recommending something and you put a link on it, and then someone goes to click on that and it's broken, then that's a poor user experience. So that is also something definitely worth fixing. So when you click on it, you can see the actual pages that the error occurs on, and the links that are broken. So you'll just have to fix those by going in there and seeing what the links are supposed to be. So you can either just change the links completely, delete them, or even change it to a different recommendation if there's nothing else there. So you'll have to go in there and see what those are. So make sure that you take note of those. I have this many external broken links. And it's not going to show you all of them in the free version because it's not going to crawl all of your pages. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Another thing you want to look for is orphaned pages, which are pages that just don't have anything linking to them. Let's see if I can find them in the errors here. They're in notices. Okay. 7 orphan pages in the sitemaps. This means that it's a page that's in your sitemap, but nothing on your website actually links to it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if you don't want it linking to it. So you just kind of have to take that with a grain of salt and see. So like these, for example, are things that people would be downloading. So yeah, so that would be something that I wouldn't have linked on here. So these are actually all okay. So I'm not going to write down anything about any issues with those. And then just anything, we're going to go back to where it says errors here. So for errors, these are the things that they think are probably top priority. So what I would do is look at these and see if there's something that is important to you. If you even know, you might not even know, but pay attention to that. So this is saying that there's some structured data items that are invalid. And this is actually a really common issue with Squarespace for local business, missing a field. Not super surprising here. Worth noting. Mixed content. Let's see what this is all about. Okay, so that's all one blog post. And it's another blog post. Okay, so these are all blog posts that link to different things. So this one I know is linking to a bunch of music and bands. And this one down here is listing to a bunch of gift ideas. So something's going on with that, with the mixed content. If you're unsure what something is, you can click on this why and how to fix it, and sometimes get why is that not? Well, it usually works. And it'll usually bring up a little thing that explains like what's going on with that, why, and how to fix it. So you can do that as well. Couldn't be crawled because of incorrect URL formats. That's an interesting error. I don't know if I've seen that one before. Okay, so these are all that recommended resources page. Okay, so these are all linking to products. Okay. So I'm not sure why that's an error. So that would be something to look into. And this is not working. Usually works. Okay. So yeah, those are the main things that you want to pay attention to in this section. Don't get rid of this audit here because you're going to use it for more information later. Or did I talk about page depth? Did I skip page depth? Let's see where page depth is. But it's in notices. Here we go. Okay. 128 pages need more than 3 clicks to be reached. So in general, on your website, you want all of your pages, especially important pages, to be reachable within 1 to 2, maybe 3 clicks away from the homepage or from wherever you are at the moment. That's why it's great to have a menu. That's why it's great to have a sitemap at the bottom. That's why it's great to do lots of internal linking. So if you're having a lot of pages that are more than 3 clicks away, look to see what those pages are. Maybe they're just like weird, like this is a downloadable Excel sheet off of one blog post. That's what this is too. That's what this is too. AMP, yeah, these are like a format that there's a lot of errors with that I'm probably just going to remove the AMP off of this website anyways, because it causes so many errors. But look through this, see if there's anything that's just like a normal page that, like this one is a blog post. Why should you journal on vacation? Okay, so this is a blog post. Its crawl depth is 4, which means people have to click on 4 things to get to it. Now, I know why this is. It's because they go to the home page, then they go to blog, and then from there, it's not on the first page of the blog. It's on like the second or third page of the blogs listed. So that's why people are having to scroll through to find that. So one way you could potentially fix this is to just have more internal linking that links to some of those blog posts that are a little bit older. Especially if it's something, especially if it's a website, a web page that's very important to your business. And these are just tags, those don't matter. So I would maybe write down like, some of these older blog posts have more internal linking to them in my notes. Okay, so that's it for the technical audit. That's all you need to do for the technical audit right now. Don't get rid of your SEMrush or Ahrefs or well, Screaming Frog you won't need anymore, but don't get rid of those because we use those again for some other parts of the audit. But for the technical part, you are donezo.